Hello, beautiful people. Just going to smudge my cards and wait for a few of you to hop on. How is your Friday been? Where are you from? How's things going? Now, nice little smudge. And I'll just smudge the crystal. Spirit of the internet, please bless the broadcast. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, I'm starting to see a few people pop in. What's your week been like with these yummy energies at the moment? Which for me is half crazy with like I'm out of time, and then just half, absolutely amazing. Hi, Carrie. How are you, Blossom? We've got Carrie and Belinda. Oh, Belinda, I'm doing really well. Had a very fantastic day. I'm just putting some Paleo Santo oil on. You put it on my third eye and I put it on my throat chakra so that I give clear messages, and because it just smells amazing and I feel like a goddess. I've got Kim. Hello, hun. Been busy. You're from New Zealand, Carrie. Oh, hello, Sharon. How are we all doing? So I just wanted to start off very briefly and tell you about my exciting news. So for my regulars that see me, you know that I've been talking about my coaching, which I've been building a new program. I was going to do group coaching, but then I went and got a business coach myself, and I've built this amazing program of which she pushed me to not only see how I can help people archetypally, but also how I can help people like on a healing level as well. So there's bonuses in there, which is like weekly personal healing sessions. And like with my background for the last decade, I've just been doing so many modalities. I went to Mexico and I did fire priestess training. I've done Reiki, bushflower essences, crystal essences, the liquid light crystals, even got the tattoo on for selenite. I've done shamanic moon key, countless meditations, countless workshops. I've done medical intuitive level 1, and then with my archetypes, I've spent nearly $5,000 on courses on archetypes. So I've really taken everything that I've learned for the last decade, and I've created this program, and it's called Courageous Abundance Creatrix. So that's going to be the name of the program, because what I want to do is I want to activate courage in amazing women, and I also want them to really feel, step into their abundance on all levels, and also really trust and work with their intuition and taking action. So I'm really so super excited. The modules and everything that I've put together, you learn about the 4 self-esteem archetypes and the 4 soul esteem archetypes. But then we go in and we really look at what's causing you issues. Are you martyring yourself? Are you empath and you're in shadow? Are you shape-shifting? Are you being bullied? How's your victim? How's your child? We'll go really in deep with that. But then we also look at the really positive archetypes as well. So what archetypes are wanting to descend? So are you wanting to be a psychic reader, and you actually got these gifts and talents and you've been working on them, but you are lacking that courage and that self-esteem to step up and be seen? And so I really go into those self-esteem archetypes so that you be a really solid container for spirit, and you step forth and you start, working on the dreams of what you want to do. And instead of just going into those sabotaging patterns and staying just in that dreaming, I really want to activate and heal and encourage, and so that you start doing. So I'm really excited about it, and I've put some information and some links in the description section. So if you feel drawn to it, you can have a little discussion about me. There's free 30-minute discussions, and I'll be launching that on the 21st, and the actual program starts on the 11th of January. I wanted to do 111 for the launch of the 8 weeks. You know, I really want to get the people in there, and there's some amazing bonuses. So not only am I using my teaching and priestess archetypes to teach you about what's happening archetypally, I'm activating the healer to provide profound healings as you're going along, because that's what people need when they're really looking at their traumas and their triggers, is they need to be energetically and spiritually supported at the same time. So I'm super excited. Now, sounds good for you, Jess. Thank you, Carrie. I'm so excited about this. I've been doing daily prayer work where I want to be, you know, embody my priestess archetype and be deeply of service. And I just feel like I've actually just gave birth to this program. I know that sounds a bit odd, but it's been such a process, and I've been really pushed, and I'm really excited. Oh, Carrie, that's your best friend sounds exactly like the person that I want to help. And so, you know, the people who hold themselves back, so people who want to be writers, artists, healers, they've been doing Reiki, doing all the things that I did for a decade, doing all these healing things, learning about crystals, Reiki, mediumship, any of those things, and then they just don't have that last step. There's some blockages before they can really embody what they're wanting to do. But the other thing that's really interesting is I've been working on some ancestral stuff, especially with women, and some of those last blockages, it's in our DNA that how dare you speak up and say something and speak your truth, because if you speak up, you'll be killed for it. You know, that sounds radical, but if you think about being burned and persecuted for the last millennia, there is ancestral stuff there. And it's so there's even a meditation that I've created to help with that as well, and that's part of acknowledgement and working through that as in the coaching. So let's have a little look. And I like how you put your hands up, Carrie. So we'll pop some questions through for you. Your gypsy descent, Kim. I've met a few people who I think are gypsy descent. Now, due to the humidity here, I have to have that window open, and my neighbour's dog is a little bit naughty. So we're going to have to reading with barking in the background, but if I shut that window, I will die. Okay. Darlene, you were the lady who taught me level 1 with medical intuitive. So it is really amazing that you are on here. Everybody, Darlene is amazing. Okay, Carrie. So did you have any questions, Carrie? I didn't see anything. I'll just scroll up a little bit further. Would love a card if drawn with some diamonds and butterflies. Does that mean that you're ready for transformation with the butterfly? Let's see what comes forth for you, gorgeous. We have the Poet. So the Poet is a card it's a bridge card. So what happens with the Poet is quite often, Carrie, they can go through some darker experiences, and they learn from it, and they come back and they teach. If you actually literally look at poetry, it evokes emotion, because the poet, the person who's wrote it, has gone on a journey, has captured in those words, and has brought it back. So it's not telling you that you need to start poetry. What it is telling you is you have that capability to go into the darker sides of life. So you can look at your patterns, you can look at the shadow stuff. If you're surrounded by people who are a bit toxic, any kind of depression or anxiety, mental health issues, like you can literally deal with that with people, and you're strong enough to hold it. And so for that to come up, usually when it's in a reading, it's a little bit of a harder time, some bit of a struggle street with a few things at the moment. And you've got some little green angels. Yes, transformation. So just going to see what else comes forth, gorgeous. The hunter. So it's like you've been pursuing something, whether it's spiritual, pursuing, if you are on a spiritual path and there's parts of yourself that you know, like patterns and things that you need to let go of, that hunter energy is very compulsive. And then you've got the maiden. So I actually feel like this reading is asking you to acknowledge that if you can be optimistic and if you can be open-minded and gleeful and joyful like the maiden is, that's not a bad thing. It's almost like you're being asked to acknowledge the child in you and not judge the childlike things. And if you've been optimistic in the past and people have belittled you for it, there might be some blockages around that as well, because that poet is a struggle street. So it's like something's been done to you and you've had to really work on deprogramming your childhood, or if you've had a toxic teacher, a toxic partner, and they've tried to squash who you are inside. So it's like a little bit of really going in and acknowledging how special the child is. Like the energy of the maiden is profound. Yes, the maiden can go into being naive, and yes, the maiden can call in lessons for herself. But if you're being optimistic and open-hearted and a really nice, sweet person, and then you get crushed for that, grow up. People will say to the maiden, grow up, stop being silly. Stop being silly. And that's actually soul crushing for somebody who's working with the maiden archetype, because they're literally saying to you, you're not good enough. There's problems with you. So I really feel like you need to go and do some nourishing ceremony where you really love and acknowledge your inner child and your inner maiden and realize it's a superpower. It's actually epic. People need the maidens and the eternal childs because they balance out the crap in society. Everyone else can be doom and gloom, and then you have this perky person who's just like, there's going to be a silver lining. And we so energetically need them, but all these grumpy people just try and flatten that in them, because whether or not they're afraid of them being different, I don't know. But I see this wounding all the time, and I really want to say to you, it's a superpower, and being optimistic is a good thing, and no one should ever tell you to grow up, because you don't really need to if it's done with a lot of love. What am I destined to be? Well, that's one of the biggest questions of all. My biggest suggestion to you is, what scares the ever-living shit out of you? The thing that you're petrified of most? That's probably where your purpose is. And look at it. What are the things that you're afraid of? And then ask yourself, why are you not doing it? And if you find the courage and you start going down that path, it reveals itself. Okay, now we have got Hope and Mariah. I'm just going to take a little sip. Right, Hope, what have we got for you? we have the unseen. So this card, Hope, it can actually be, what's next for you? I'm just going to see, because the unseen can literally be psychic gifts, or it can be people lying to you. You've got another initiation card about truth. Where is this one going? Oof. Okay, so you have a slightly heavy reading, Hope, and it's got 2 back-to-back initiation cards. So it's almost like your life, if your life is being a little bit chaotic at the moment, like full on crazy, and you're just feeling slightly overwhelmed, I can completely understand. So the unseen archetype is, it could be psychic gifts and your intuition coming through. You know, your intuition's trying to tell you something and you must listen to it. The unseen can also be people lying to you, the unseen truth. It can be that things are veiled around you and you're going to have to really trust in your intuition. You can even call it in, use prayer, use dreams, you know, show me what's going on. So like this one's really interesting because it's right beside the initiation card of Aletheia. There is only 8 initiation cards in the whole deck, and you got back-to-back ones. You also got Thanatos. So this is the card of death. Now, it doesn't mean it's a literal death. It means that there's a part of you or something that needs to die off in your life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it can literally mean, like, if you have a fear about something that you're wanting to do, then that fear has to literally die and you start to step up. So it's a card of absolute transformation and you can't hide and run from it. But because it's all beside the card of truth and wisdom, it's stripping layer upon layer. So I would almost say that have you got people in your life, a partner or a friend or someone at your workplace, and your instincts telling you they're fake, they're lying, they're up to no good, there's something off about that person. And then, you know, you've got to look at the truth of it. Why am I not trusting myself? Should I investigate them more? And then that Thanatos it could be coming through, and it can be really like pushing you to accept the truth of the situation and accept the truth of the people and what's actually going on. Because it's quite normal for people when you get back-to-back archetypes, initiation cards. I've only had 3 people in all of my lives, and I've been doing a live reading every Friday night for 3.5 months. So it's not common, and so if you're feeling really overwhelmed and you're feeling really confused, I can understand why. I have a link to my Facebook group up in the description. It's called Sovereign Circle with Jess Beard. If you need some emotional support while things are going on, you're more than welcome to join. I have the loveliest bunch of people in there. It's a small group, it's a sacred container, and if you need some support, and just like you can literally come in there and talk to the ladies, or you can reach out to me and on my Facebook page as well and just see how you're going. I'm sending you a lot of love. I never like giving some of the harder readings, but this one is like a little bit full on energetically. So I'm sending you lots of love. You can do this. Nobody calls in that card of Thanatos unless they can actually do it and work with it. So there's a part of you that's going, okay, there's personality traits, or there's people, or there's stuff in my life that needs to go, and it's a real big push. So I hope that made sense, and I hope you're okay, and I'm sending you lots of love. Okay. Who have we got? Oh, Janet. So Annette, I meant to click on you, but my thing jumped. So I'll do Annette next. And the beautiful Janet. We've got Annette King and Janet Cook. Oh, look at your beautiful face, Janet. You smile. So first time here, I'm loving the sound of your calls. I would love some guidance around work if drawn to you. So let's look at what archetypes are going to go. I'm actually just going to smudge the cards. We'll go from there. Justine goes, have to apologize. I ended up having an emergency. I sent out a recording to everybody as long as they signed up. So Justine, did you sign up? Because if you did, you should have got the recording, and it went really well. People really enjoyed it, so and I spoke well. I was a bit worried I was going to go into too many ums, but no, my teacher came in and out came the information, so it was a big relief for me as well. All right, Janet, I've smudged the cards. Let's see what's happening for you around your work. What archetypes for work? Okay, so you got the riddle card. So this is literally exactly what it says. So it's confusion. So you are asking yourself why. So this can be you're either a little bit dissatisfied with your current workplace and you're like, maybe I should go, or maybe I should apply for a promotion. Or if you're not in work, you'll be like, well, what should I be doing with my life? Maybe you're wanting to start working for yourself and being an entrepreneur, and there's all this fear about, oh, should I do it? Make that leap of faith. So perfect. Well, let's see what else comes through. Ooh. So you got Alethea as well. So that's really, you're going to have to start asking yourself some hard truths. So the initiation card is what is the truth of the matter? What are my truths? What do I actually truly want on a deep soul level? So it's deep questioning around that. And what's your third card? The womb. So Janet, have you been thinking of changing work or starting a new job or starting your own business? I ask that because you've got the confusion. What am I doing? I'm not really happy, or am I happy, or am I doing the right thing, or what is my purpose? You have to look for the truth. What am I really wanting? What is my wisdom? What really do I want to be doing with my life? And then you've got the womb. So the womb comes through as a highly creative time of manifestation, but it's also the divine feminine. So if you've been thinking of doing anything with women, this is a big hell yes. Not a heck yes, not a maybe yes, it's a hell yes. Like, it's really potent. So if you've been thinking of healing, counseling, women's circles, the urge to be around, that energy with women, it can be helping men be in touch with their feminine sides. When this comes through, it's usually in some kind of context of a teacher or a healer. And so it can be also a reflection, Janet, of you might need to do a little bit of healing on yourself. Like if you've got self-worth issues, and self-esteem issues, then that might needs to be addressed. But usually when it comes up like this, it usually means that you teach people from the things that you've been through. So if you've even if the people that's had like the hardest lives can then morph through and they can help people who are stuck, you know. And like with myself, I used to be the world's greatest martyr. I had the world's worst inner critic. I was had low self-esteem, and you know, I thought you had to work really, really hard and then you died. And there was just so much issues there from grief from when I was a child, and you know, family patterns and ancestral stuff. There's quite a few things that happen through my feminine line, and I have had to do a tremendous amount of work on myself, and also that's in, how do I word this? For every single person that steps up and starts doing the work, they are healing and helping the divine feminine. So not only are you helping other people, you're archetypally helping the divine feminine, anchoring back in after a millennia or more of patriarchy. So it's quite potent. So have you got a few self-worth issues, and have you been drawn to helping people? Like if you've been wanting to start a business, what kind of business is it? I'm very curious. Okay, Sharon Thomas, I can relate. Yes, there are so many women being pushed, and there's a couple of men as well. I said to Spirit, you know, I don't know too many men who are really being as driven to heal themselves and different stuff. And then Spirit listened to me, and I've been able to meet some amazing guys who are doing the work on themselves. One in particular I'm in awe of, because he's just so committed to change and not repeating his old patterns. So it's really soul nourishing for me to witness that. Okie dokie. So who did I say was next, which I nearly clicked on? Okay. Oh my gosh, absolutely perfect. I'm wanting to start life coach practice. I've done lots of work on myself and just not sure how to get it going. Definitely drawn to helping women through. Exactly. You couldn't have a clearer reading, and I'm so glad it resonated with you, and you really need to start doing the work. And if you need help, you know, I've started my course, but there are some other really amazing people. Start looking for somebody who resonates with you. I base mine all around understanding archetypes so that they can shift your life, but then coupling it with energetic work and healings and meditations and stuff like that. So it's twofold. But if you need business coaching, or if you need such and such, so you find someone who addresses what's your biggest need. But really start doing it, darling. It's this huge push. And next year, I don't know if everybody's been feeling this, but next year is going to be amazingly epic. There's going to be a bit of chaos, but it's going to be a lot of people holding space for them. It's going to be beautiful. I wish I could see your face over the on the bottom of the screen. It's when people write bigger sentences. Sometimes you look at this one when I go like this, and it takes up everything. Now, I had somebody who, it was Annette, wasn't it? That's right, it was you next, gorgeous. And your original one was this. So let's click on this, see what we've got going for you. Do you know what I'm listening? Dun, 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 dun. Like it's sometimes when I make a sound, it's very interesting because it's not too normal. Initiation in it. So Eros is the love of all things. It's about deep sensuality and self-love. So when it's like falling in love with everything. It is falling in love with music, with food, with friendships, but mainly yourself. So this really comes through when people need to work on self-love, but also self-nurturing, but in a really sensual way. So you're like, I'm so fucking amazing that I'm going to do this, this, and this to myself because I deserve it. And it really comes up in, like, all of the initiation cards are multiple layers. So when it comes through, you'll be working on multiple levels with this, of falling in love with yourself and everything around you in multiple ways. So let's see what other cards come through, because that's an epic first card. Now, bear in mind, Annette, when an initiation card comes up and you're being pushed to do this, if you're being pushed to fall in love with all the things around you and start loving yourself, if there's blocks, you're going to have to face them. So if you're feeling like you're not worthy, or you're feeling like you know there's too many issues and that you're in survival mode and there's no way that you can, you know, love food and all this different stuff, that all has to get brought up so that you actually go into that self-love. So even though that sounds like a fun card, it's also, I'm telling you, initiation cards are on all layers of being. Now, let's have a little peek. Oh, there's some work to be done. You've got the dead end, Annette. So there, the dead end is you literally come up to a wall and you can't go any further until you actually close the door on the issue. And when you close it, 3 and 4 doors will open. So there is something in your life which is causing you to stop loving yourself, whether it's internal self-worth issues, or maybe somebody's said something to you, maybe you've got a toxic people in your life, maybe you have got a parent or a teacher or a religion, something that made you feel less than or not worthy, and you're going to have to heal that, because you can't go forward until you address it. This is the dead end. And I had this card in my reading, and I did for myself, and I did my giant big 15 card reading that I do, and it came up and I'm like, really? But then I just went, no, I'm going to work with this energy, and I'm like, I'm going to say a prayer, like, show me what needs to end so that I can do this, because you literally can't move forward unless you do. So I would even go so far to say, as you, Annette, you might have had this issue for a while. For that to come up, you might have had a pattern of self-worth, whether you know it or not, that's come up for a while. Oh, you've got that, Maiden. I reckon that you've got something from your childhood. Who made you feel less than when you were a child? Where did the blueprint start? Did someone tell you to grow up? Did somebody tell you, you know, that you're less than? Did someone make you feel like you're not as worthy as other people? There's some deep healing around self-love and self-worth and really stepping into what you're wanting to do. But that Eros energy, when I'm tapping into that, that's epic. So you really need to, I love myself, I love this, I love that, I love the world, I love everything. When you are in self-love and you're in the vibration of love, when you go into the supermarket, you're just so at peace. And you know, you can see some screaming children, you can see some fighting people, and you just, it doesn't affect you because you're in just such a state of, you know, detachment, because you love yourself, and you can see that none of this is your story and you're not going to take it upon yourself. If people don't love themselves and they're in their triggers and they're in self-esteem issues, they go in and they see that screaming child and they're like, oh, I can't even go shopping and there's a screaming child. You know what I mean? Like, you take it personally when you could actually just be distracted, detached, and you almost don't even hear the screaming child. So it's deep, deep healing and love of self, and your whole life will change. So this initiation, sometimes it can take a little while, but with this particular aspect, and that I would go into prayer. Now, my prayers are basic. Guys, can you please show me what I need to do so that I can fully love myself, let go of what's holding me back, show me what I need to do because I'm ready to step forward. Boom. Soul prayer, easy. You don't bargain with God. You don't blame God. God is, we have free will. We're born with free will, and the consequences of that is nobody else is going to save you. You have to save yourself. It's one of my articles I put up on my Facebook page during the week. I wrote, be your own damn hero, because no one else is going to save you. And it was kind of a bit of a bossy article. I'm usually not quite that bossy, but that was what the vibration was coming through for that day. And sometimes we need to be a little bit bossy. But no one else is going to save us. No one's going to come in on a shiny steed with their shiny suit of armor and a big sword, handsome with giant pecs and a six-pack, and save you. Only you can do it. So I hope that resonated. It was a positive reading, but there's also a bit of work to be done there in it. But it's time. Remember, initiation cards do not come in unless we're ready for them. So I think you kind of have known that transformation and letting go of stuff it's been coming for a while, and it's now time to work on it. Oh, it did make sense. Sorry, I got a little bit, strict, but I think that's what's coming through. It's time, and you can do this. And like I said, I've got the free Sovereign Circle group. Lovely bunch of ladies. It's a sacred container of support. Reach out if you're going through initiation. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to do it alone. That's what the group's for. All right. So, Shakti, you've been asking a few times, I believe. Let me just take a little sip. Linda, you wrote, what's next? Does that mean you want a reading on what's next, or did I say something rather than you wanted to know what was next? Okay, Shakti. Your current path. I'm just going to smudge these cards. I always like to give them a bit of a smudge before. Randomly when it feels intuitively right, but also when someone's had an initiation card, it just has a different energy to it. Okay, so current path. What archetypes does Shakti need to know for her current path? Ooh, the riddle. So this is confusion. I think, are you, Shakti, are you questioning what's your purpose? Or if you're supposed to be going in a different direction? Or am I going in the right direction? That's what the riddle card is. Why am I doing this right? What's going on? It's a giant bug. It's a praying mantis. I said to Annette to pray, and I've got this giant praying mantis climbing outside the window. I will thank you for that, spot on. Annette, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. You're going to be amazing, so you can do this. So you are confused, Shakti. I'm not surprised. The energies are huge at the moment. So you have got the animal. This is a very primal card, Shakti. It's all about being really comfortable in our skin. So if you have ever at any stage worried about how you look, if you're thin, if you're fat, if you've got a wonky nose, what other people think of you, I can't dress this way, I can't do that. It's all about like literally the skin we wear and being really deeply and profoundly content with yourself and loving yourself. So I would not be even surprised if you went on to help people with this. Like, have you ever been drawn to embodiment work, like healing through dancing or sensuality? I feel like you've had issues, but do you help people with that, or do you want to help people with loving themselves? It's kind of giving me mixed feelings, a yes and a yes. And the offering, confused, correct. So have you wanted to help other women with self-confidence and self-esteem and self-love? Yes, with healings. Okay, so you've got the offering cards come up at the end. So this is a card of offering and sacrifice. So you might be feeling inside and you might be saying to the universe and to spirit, I am ready and willing to step up and start healing people more and helping people. But you're going to have to sacrifice something. So you're going to have to sacrifice a belief. Maybe you have abundance fears. Maybe you have people around you who are telling you, oh, you can't make money or a living from that. Maybe like there's something going on and you're going to have to sacrifice a fear or a doubt in order to really step into what you're wanting to do. This is very much like with the coaching program that I'm doing. You know, yes, people are wanting to step up, but they have to sacrifice these fears and doubts. So I get a feeling that you'll come to this point, you're like, okay, I'm going to have to give up this thought patterns, this old program within myself that I didn't even know that I was running. I'm going to have to give up these things in order to ascend to the next level. So it's like the future you is like, you know, I really, really need to do this. Yeah, this has recently happened. So have you, this feels like there's more. So if you're to step up and help people more, what do you need to do in order to do that? You have to really ask yourself that. And, you know, some fears and doubts might come up and maybe a block or two, and you're just going to have to really smash through those blocks. I feel like you're going to do this fairly quickly though, but there's a couple more layers there. So just keep asking yourself, Shakti, and this is what I do, and it's incredibly powerful, is I'm like, how can I be the best priestess that I can be? You know, I want to be the best priestess. Show me. How can I embody it? How can I let the archetype descend into my field and embody it even more? So if you're wanting to heal people, how can you become the better healer than what you are now? How can you allow that healer to descend into your field so that you embody the healer on all aspects? And you're like, hi, I'm Shakti. I am an amazing healer who heals people doing this, 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 and this. So there's some things that need to yeah, I just feel like there's a few little things that need to be healed, little teensy little layers and different things that you don't even know are in the psyche and the subconscious. Did that make sense, gorgeous? But I feel like that deep acceptance of self is something that you've been journeying through, and then that you need to hop up and do. Hold on. I had some kind of bug crawling on my feet. So that's a beautiful reading, Shakti. Yes, very correct. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You are amazing. Do you know that you're amazing? That's an actual question. Do you know that you're amazing? Okay. Okay. We have a very specific question. So, Carmel, I'm going to ask a yes, no, which is a bit different. Nick Hitch, you don't feel amazing. What is stopping you from feeling amazing, my love? Okay. Should Carmel should Carmel go back to work next year? Should Carmel go back to work next year? What's a strong one? The Temple. And I'm going to ask, should Carmel settle into retirement? I actually, I think you should go back according to these archetypes, but it's in a nourishing way. So the tier came up for should you settle into retirement, which is death and rebirth. So it's grieving for like what's happening, which is a darker energy. So it's when I get a yes no question being asked, a very specific one, I would say that that's not as positive. But see the Temple card, it's asking you all this energy radiating out, and then you've got your boundaries, the pyramid. So you're honoring yourself. So the only way and reason that you would go back to work, Carmel, is if it's something that you really enjoy doing. And also you could be building a foundation. So if you wanted a little bit more money for retirement and have a specific goal, what you do is you're like, okay, I need another $25,000 to buy this because it's going to be amazing and I'm going to become a grey nomad. You stick to it. You don't get stuck, working if you didn't want to. But it's all about joy and honoring yourself. So if don't go back and feel like, it's burden, you have to really love it. So that's the energy of that one. So the tier, that one there, you could, if you do retire and you decide to go that way, and that's what your intuition's really pushing you to do, this card is telling you that if you do that, you're going to have to honor your emotions during the process. It's natural when we change our lives to go through a little bit of a mourning process. So don't get stuck at home, bored out of your mind. Your life is all changed, don't know what to do. Instead, you go and find a hobby, you find things that really nourish you, and you pick up art, take pottery, learn how to do tarot reading, something that's going to bring you a lot of joy, because there will be sadness and mourning for the changes in life. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I would only go back to work if it is for a specific financial goal. And once you have that financial goal obtained, then you're done and dusted. Or it's all about really loving it, really loving what you're doing and being nourished. So sometimes work's not a bad thing. If somebody really feels like they're nourished in their workplace and they're really enjoying it, it's not a chore. You get up and you enjoy going to work. So that's the only reason that I would go back. Oh, Nick, you have chronic fatigue syndrome. You don't feel good. In my Facebook group, there's a lady with fibromyalgia and a few different things that are going on in there. You're more than welcome to join and watch the amazing bunch of ladies. And if you're having a bad day, you know, reach out and ask for some prayers. It's not an easy thing. I've had a few friends that have really gone through this, and it's such a process of just nourishment of yourself and setting boundaries, and it's a very deep healing journey, you know. And I wish you all the best, and I'll send you so much love, because that's not an easy thing. You've had lots of life changes in the past 2 years. Thankfully, I fully understand and appreciate your time. So lots of life changes. Yeah, Carmel, I would only go back. Oh, hi, Kylie. Carmel, I would only go back if it's going to really nourish you or for a specific financial goal. Otherwise, settle into your retirement and go through the mourning process of it. Yeah, Nick, my heart goes out to you. That's not an easy one. And on Narelle Piper, you've got autoimmune disease. Not DSM. Oh, same thing. If you would like to hop into the group and be supported, you know, more than welcome. And I don't know if you realise, but I actually like prayers. You know, I think that's the priestess part of me, and it's not traditional prayers. But I can also really hold a vision of somebody being happy or healthy, and I don't care how long it takes. I have a friend who I drive crazy because she likes to she has a lot of issues, and she asked me one time, can you see me and hold the vision of me being healthy, happy and healed? And I said yes. And then she'll dip down into her lows, and she actually gets so angry with me because I'm empathetic, but I still firmly believe that she'll be healed, and she doesn't like to hear that at times. But that's also the power of the priestess is, you know, I'll hold the vision of you happy and healthy and truly, truly happy. So let's have a little look for you and see what's going to come through for your love life. Let me just take a sip. I'm just going to smudge the cards again, my love. Sharon, the link is in the description, which is at the top of the reading. There's my business page, and then there's one for the group. And I usually have a few people each week who join up after my lives, and I let everybody in. And it's a lovely space. I'm truly blessed. I attract some amazing people into my life. Okay, Nick. May I have a reading on my love? Archetypes. The nectar. So Nick, that's beautiful. This is about soul joy and nourishment. So, you know, nourishing and support and caring are going to be fundamental for you. You're going to absolutely need it in your partner. And your partner's going to have to be not only supportive, but truly empathetic and loving, and nourishes you. And instead of triggering you, causing trauma, making your life any harder, they provide a comfort and a almost just say this is how I'm feeling it, like a warm blanket being wrapped around you. You like the energy that I'm getting from this is it's fundamental. So if the person doesn't have these traits, they're just not going to work for you archetypally. I've been able to help a beautiful couple separate and remain friends and learn about their archetypes, and they're still remaining friends. But what happened with their relationship is when it came to communication, they had opposing archetypes, and they just archetypally clashed. So imagine trying to put two magnets together that are flipped around the other way, and you get that force and they won't go no matter how much you try. That's when you have archetypes which they're just repulsive to each other, and you can't communicate properly, and the relationship's not going to work. So why I'm telling you this is because you need somebody who is going to support and be empathized. You don't need someone who's going to enable you. You don't need somebody who's going to go, oh, poor Nick, and do everything for you. You need somebody who's just going to absolutely love and support you. And as I said, see you being healthy and happy and healed. But they're not going to get frustrated and say, oh, for God's sake, stop being exhausted. You don't need that at all. Let me get you some more cards. But I really had to make that very strongly, said to you, like, you must have this archetype in your future partner or current partner. It just has to be. Oof, you got the Destroyer. What does that mean coming in? Let me get the third card. Destroyer. It's like you've got a self-belief about, do you think that you're worthy of such an amazing partner? Is there a self-esteem energetical plug in there, like a program? The self. Okay, darling. You have got the Destroyer right beside the self. So this is like if you're wanting to call in this amazing man or woman, amazing partner, you're going to have to destroy and work and release and heal the parts of yourself that don't think you're worthy of that relationship, but also that you are not able to call it in. We are co-creators, and when we're truly listening to our intuition and we take action upon it, that's when we're rewarded by the universe and we find those people. So if you're truly listening to yourself and I love myself, I'm amazing, and I deserve this partner, then you could be going along and your intuition's going to say, oh, go and get a chai latte from such and such, and you'll go there and you might see someone really interesting. Now, you might not have the confidence to go up to them, but you see them, you make eye contact, and then if it's meant to be, they're going to come back into your field. If you do online dating and you're looking at different people's profiles, trust your intuition, work with it. Remember, if they don't have these key aspects, then they're not right for you. That's your linchpin and your defining aspect. A, you have to believe that you're worth it, and B, that you can call it into your life, and C, you are not going to settle for anything less. Now, see this beautiful self card with this amazing pearl of wisdom at your heart, and then radiating out is all this light. So there's whole new aspects of self coming through. So you need to work on your self-worth and your self-esteem, and I mean, do the work. It's one thing to actually go, yes, I have self-esteem issues, but when it comes up, when you have the really nasty thought that you're not worth it, you have to alchemize that. You have to start coming up with different techniques where you can change your mindset. You can go to healers. You can meditate. There's 50 things I could list for you to try doing, but only you can make the commitment to changing your thought patterns so that you can become more confident and feel deeply nourished and ready for this divine person that's going to come into your life. Does that make sense, gorgeous? Thank you. You're an amazing reader. Oh, bless you. I stumbled upon this career and I love it dearly, but it's not satisfying enough for me to do it just as that. So that's why I wanted to move into the coaching, is I do the readings for people and they see, what's going on and they say, oh, it makes so much sense. And some of them go forth and they work upon it, and then others just don't do anything. And I'm like, I want to help the people take the action. That's what I want. I want to, I called myself a courage activator when I did my Sunday teaching. And and that's what I want to do, and I'm good at it. So I'm stepping into my aspects, and I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's bloody well worth it. All right, Sharon, I have enough time for one more reading. Just quickly squish it in. Oh, Savannah, gorgeous. I might do a live in the group in a little bit. Go and have some dinner after this. So I'll ask you in there. I think one of the other ladies from the group was in there as well. So very quickly, what can help support Sharon? Why is she feeling so low? Oh, this one is feeling really lost. So, Savannah, sorry, Sharon, you both start with S. When this forest comes in, it's this feeling of being really lost and overwhelmed because you don't know how to get out of the forest. You could be highly creative. There could be all these things happening in your life all at once, and you're like, how do I get out of this forest? How do I get out of the situation? What path do I take? I'm lost in here. So the only way to get out of that forest is to focus on one thing at a time. If you try and get your way out of there by, you're seeing all these trees, you're going to miss the pathway out. So you just focus on one thing at a time to get yourself out of there. Now, the next card, the Castle. So are you concerned about your house or making money or your job? Usually the Castle comes through and it's about building a really solid foundation, but sometimes it's going to be really materialistic. So I really feel like it's almost, you're feeling a bit lost what to do. It's either about your job or your house. Should you move? Are you happy in your relationship? I'm trying to see. Very much so. So is that about your house or is it about your job, or both? Oh, you also got the one. So are you doing stuff where you're actually really feeling like you want to be connected to spirit and connected to other people and connected to your spiritual self and your intuition? I've got a new job, a new year, both. Aha. So this is a card where you're craving to be connected. So as you're moving into these new things, you really need to make your connection to spirit and your spirituality and trusting your intuition and being connected to other people. You really need to make that a focus and a priority. So even with your workplace, don't get overwhelmed by all of it and building. So the castle can sometimes be you focus too much on the materialistic. So maybe you'll start earning like really good bank in this job, and then you get like, oh, I can do this and this and this, and I got a shiny thing, and I'm almost getting like bling. I don't think you're going to get like rapid gold necklaces. That's a strange thought that popped in. But it's almost like there's a little bit of a danger about getting stuck in the materialistics and ignoring the spiritual self. So don't forget to nurture it. It can also be like this profound moment where you almost meet an angel, or you'll just stop and you'll see the sun glistening through something or other, and you almost want to weep at the beauty of it. You can have this moment in meditation or in a group, and you just feel so connected that your heart expands out to the size of the whole room. That's the energy of this card. So it's working with dogs. I love animals. Oh my goodness, beautiful. That's really being of service with them as well. Don't forget your spiritual self. It's just going to be really important. And you know, you can be working with those beautiful doggies, and you can feel connected through the animal realm as well. It doesn't have to be literal within just the humans and stuff. It can be the elements, Mother Earth, the animal kingdom, animal messengers, animal communicators. Just really don't forget your spiritual self. Okay, Blossoms, I have come to the end of this reading. It has been so delightful to have you all with me. I hope that makes sense, Sharon. Rashita, I thank you so much. I get so much soul joy out of doing these readings and helping people. It's beautiful. So over the next few days, I'll be putting out a little bit more information, and then I'll officially launch my 8-week coaching offer, and I'll be starting on the 11th of January. Now, I have got some really juicy bonuses. So one of the bonuses is a 8-week, during the 8 weeks, every week there is a half an hour healing session. And I go in and I use a mixture of Reiki, divine energy, crystals, shamanic energy, and I actually do a deep clearing, because during this, when we're working on your self-esteem and your courage and understanding of archetypes as you're being triggered, yes, there's a bit of work to be done, but you also start to really gain the confidence to work with the archetypes that you want to, the archetypes that you need to. If you want to be a healer, then we remove all the things that stop you from being the healer. So you're supported energetically, but also deeply understanding what's going on archetypally. And that's what changed my life. And I believe it's a language that everybody on the planet should know. And they should have this in the school curriculum, so that children can actually empower themselves instead of just going into, you know, basically when we get to an adult, we have to unprogram everything our parents and our teachers and everything taught us. All the bad habits, everything. So, oh, that was lightning. So yes, I will be talking more about that on my page. Head over to my page and like it if you would like to know more. You can reach out and ask me any questions. There's a link in the description for a free 30-minute chat. I really want to be of service. I really want to help so many people change. Thousands upon thousands of women is my goal. I'm going to start with 8 or 5, but that's going to be my goal. Is I want us to all be really stepping up and being our amazing dream selves. So much love.